Sounds good.
What's up, beautiful people? This is episode 91 of Sunday Sessions with Rich podcast. If you're new to the show, welcome. Like, subscribe, comment. I want to hear from you guys. Happy New Year's too, by the way. If you're listening to this, we should be on the second week of the new year, quote unquote, and just figure out what you want to do and let's accomplish this shit. Now, on today's episode, guys, Zon, aka Inner Practioner, stops by to chat with us today. Some of you may know him from our previous episode 41, Doing the Inner Work, which can be listened to on Apple and Spotify. If this is your first time listening, man, you're in for a treat. Zon is a learner and practitioner that helps tons of thousands of people daily. You can check out his free guide, The Beginner's Guide to Inner Work, and also The Beginner's Guide to Shadow Work, and many more. Now, he recently dropped 2 new projects, both which I absolutely love and use. He has How I Consistently Grow My Twitter Account. It's a system that helped him grow his account from 37 followers in 2018 to over 200,000 in 2020. His most recent guide, Protect Your Energy, that he created with his friend Pammy, shows you how to use simple but effective ways to protect your auric field. There are many methods, techniques, tips, and tricks that they have combined in his guide. I will have his link posted in the description section below. Inner Practioner, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me here, Richard. How are you doing?
I am pretty well, man. It's about 9:10 over here in the UK. So I've been had too many drinks last night, bro. So my body is kind of hating me right now. So I just been literally in the bed. I have bought a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. I bought myself that, and I was just going down my inner childhood playing Pokemon. So I was literally in bed all day playing Pokemon hungover.
Beautiful. I love that. Time to celebrate, relax.
Gotta relax, man. Cause
Yeah.
I've been on the go, man. I gotta I've been on break from work past 2.5 weeks. So I had a plan to finish my book. I had a plan to do all this stuff, and my body was just saying, no, you need to rest. You need to recharge yourself. And so I just been resting, and the best thing I could have did for myself.
You're so amazing. You actually listen to your body and overwrites your mind's plan. That's fucking amazing. That's self-care, man.
That
Your
is.
body has so much wisdom. You're amazing when you listen to your body. It's like you're working with 2 minds.
That's true,
Nice.
man. Because we're always on the go, and then you never two days out the week isn't enough, and even on those 2 days you're still doing stuff like we're not freaking robots, man. We need to rest, here and there. Zon, we have new people to the show since the last time we recorded, bro. So let us know who you are. I know I gave you like a little red carpet, but let us know who you are and what you got going on.
Well, my name's Zon. I have an account on Twitter and Instagram. It's called Inner Practioner. I'm here to tweet from my awareness, my learning, my practice, and sharing some inner methods and my observations, and just to help and remind others from different angles and perspective, and hopefully raise people's vibrations and intelligence and emotional intelligence and such. Yeah.
You're definitely doing that,
Sharing.
man. You're definitely doing that.
Thank you, brother.
Now, you have over 200,000 followers right now. How do you even navigate that? I know your notifications must be blowing up. Like, how are you navigating that and like protecting your energy?
Oh my God.
Because I can't imagine. I'll probably go crazy if I had that many followers. I don't know how you do it, man.
Well, first of all, I miss a lot of notifications. I cannot keep track. There's too many of them. There's just, and I get a whole bunch of DMs too. It's hard to respond to all of them.
Yeah.
So I try to. But what I do is that one thing I do is that after I finish an engagement,
Mhm.
I immediately relax my body
Mhm.
and detach and just release. Because I don't want to take on whoever that person's energy or problems. Yeah, I don't want it to get into me. So I detach like a motherfucker on Twitter. And another thing I do is that after I'm done with the DM, I delete it.
Oh man, I like that.
So that's like an act saying I'm cutting the cord. It's a new
Ooh,
moment and I release. All like that. Uh-huh.
that's such a good
Yeah.
idea. That's such a good idea. So shoot, it's been over 50 episodes, man. I know last time, because that was like last year. We were episode 41. This is episode 91, I think. Wait, tomorrow's I was recording this on Saturday. Yeah, this will be 50 episodes later. That's freaking crazy. I like that.
I love that about you, man. You kept going. You don't stop.
I don't plan on stopping, bro. I'm gonna record, and I was recording with a guy named Zuby yesterday on the show, and he's been doing this thing for quite some time, and he posed a question to me that made me really think, and he was like, you if you most people give up when they don't see success. The reason why I do this podcast is not for like a financial reward. It's just like the impact to help people. So he
Mm-hmm.
was like, if like basically saying, do you see yourself doing this in 10 years? And I was like, actually, I can't see myself doing this for 10 years. I'm already 2 years in. I can definitely see myself doing this for another 8. I'm not doing it for the reward. I'm just doing it to help people. I was like, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's actually the key. You're doing it to help people, not to gain something from like money or fame or anything like that.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. On Twitter, a lot of people, their focus is to grow their account and
Mhm.
get more followers. My focus is to help others, and the followers naturally come.
That's a good point because your Twitter growth guide, excuse me. Now that you mentioned that, is tailored around emotions and helping people within I don't want to give away too much, but the structures that you use is tailored
Mm-hmm.
in a way that targets the emotion. So when you use that, you include the things on it, you're targeting a person's emotion. I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, your starting point, your focus, it really depends on your results. It will actually affect your results and how long you can be on the path. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you're on a spiritual path, great. But then you start getting to a whole bunch of things, you only get bigger, then you start to forget who you are because their energy get into you. You start to think like them. You don't know if it's your thought or their thoughts. You don't know if it's your emotion or their emotions. And then you forget why you start your spiritual journey. Then you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to go very far. But that's okay. That's a lesson too. Then you can
Yeah.
succeed. Oh, you have to go back to who you are inside. So the question is, why are you doing the podcast, Richard?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you start it? What was your original intention when you started? You don't want to lose that.
Yeah, because it's easy to, man. It's because it now it doesn't feel like a chore, right? It's because drop
Mm-hmm.
episode every week. But the why was just to create a positive news source where people can tune in every Sunday. And just give you, beneficial programmings and conversations. Oh no, it's first of all, I don't think I ever told anybody this. I think you're the first one I ever told this. When I first started the podcast, I had like a list of like topics. So it'd be like inner child healing or um toxic relationships and stuff like that. And then it got
Mm-hmm.
to a point once I like crossed off that list of okay, I can't keep repeating these things. Like what's next? And then I had like a little thought because you can only talk about toxic relationships and inner child before people get a
Every
little
week.
bored. Nobody want to keep hearing that every week. They want to spice some shit up, bro.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, Rich, let's spice some shit up. What do you want to do? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just DM mutuals and people I don't follow and just ask if they would want to be on the show. And then I started doing that. I think that was like the 20s of the podcast, and I've just been doing that ever
Mhm.
since.
That's so beautiful. That's such an important step that you made. You step outside your comfort zone and just try it
Just gotta try it,
and
man.
just expand and did it. One of the practice I do is that Sometimes I'll practice to get rejected. So I ask people
Mm,
certain things. I know they're going to reject me. And then after many practice, rejection becomes natural. You just keep trying.
mm.
Sometimes people say yes. Sometimes people say no, not right now, but in the future. Then you ask them in the future.
That's so
And the door
true.
starts to open.
Yeah.
But it's not comfortable when you start
It's
doing
not.
this. Nobody likes to be rejected. What's wrong with
No.
me? Why are you rejecting me? Why are you saying no to me? All that stuff.
Especially
But
like
the more
when
you
your intentions are
practice,
pure.
yeah, the more you practice, the more easier it gets. Then and door opens and you have opportunities. Where if you have stayed in your comfort zone, you'll never experience that expansion and
You
growth.
you won't.
Yeah.
You gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because don't get me wrong, bro. I've reached out to people and they told me no, not right now. I was like, crap, I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted you, like, because I like your message. And I want to, just help people with your message. And then it'll be just, they probably just couldn't, they were too busy. They just couldn't put me on the schedule. And then a year later, you randomly reach out and then they ready, or they reach out to you saying, hey, I'm ready. Everything is just
Yeah.
divine timing. If it was meant to be in that moment, it would be. If it wasn't, then it wasn't.
Yeah. But you gotta be proactive and make those moves.
Yeah.
Seeds for the future when they're ready and they get come back to you. But if you never made those moves, that future will never
That's so true, bro. Now,
happen.
okay, so it's been a year now. Last time we talked, I know because you're in LA still, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so I know last time we talked when you was in LA, it was like kind of like the beginning of like all the craziness going on. How has, I guess, life been since then? Like, are you able to walk freely? Like, how has your experience been?
Recently they have a rule in Los Angeles. Whenever you're in public area, you must wear the mask.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's coming back to that thing. Right now, the atmosphere is very heavy. Yesterday, I wasn't doing so well because I made some progress recently,
Mhm,
and my body is becoming more sensitive than before. And I
mhm,
felt this such a heaviness in the air, and I was feeling
mhm,
slightly depressed yesterday. So I had to sit with my body and really spend hours to feel these feelings, this collective feelings over in Los
mhm.
Angeles, and just release it. Yeah, right now it's not very good. Uh-huh.
So you're able, not well, you're able to, because it's that's a good point. Well, I'm sending you love too, bro. By the way, I know it's
Mm. Thank you,
it's
brother.
pretty heavy
Hmm.
energy, but it's
Hmm.
because it kind of ties into the guy with you and Pammy, but you're picking up on the collective's energy, and this is because you taught me this and you helped me realize this too. um Differentiating between your energy and someone else's energy. Most times people, and even myself, I'll catch an attitude and I don't know why I'm catching an attitude, like nothing happened. I'm probably just picking up on somebody's energy right there.
Yeah, we could be picking with someone's energy. That's number one. Number two, sometimes when we interact with someone's energy, we have a reaction to their energy.
Mm,
So we're feeling the reaction from within us. That needs to be recognized and released as well. Because that's a
mm,
valid reaction, no matter what that reaction is. It's in our inner world. So you want to be aware of it, feel it, and release it, and relax your body and return. Uh-huh. There's that
mm.
situation too. Yeah.
That's powerful. Because even too, man, I know a lot of I don't want to call it toxic positivity, but when you just don't honor your emotions, like you kind of just brush over it. Like if you feeling sadness and you just trying to say positive affirmations to get over the sadness, to kind of like switch vibration. I mean, you just gotta sit with yourself, man. You gotta, see why your body is feeling the way it's feeling. Like today, I didn't want to do shit. My body is saying, Richard, you did too much yesterday. You're gonna lay in bed all day. Doesn't matter if you don't get anything done, which I didn't. You're gonna record this podcast though, and then we're just gonna do whatever. But if you have to listen to yourself and listen to your emotions, and I guess too, Ash, just like what are you trying to tell me? Like, what is this message you're sending to me right now?
Man, you're so good and aware. so beautiful. That's exactly it. Every emotion that we experience that comes up, there's usually a message with it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, sadness is usually about, it's usually a reminder for us to release and let go. So new energy can come in and get the energy
Mm-hmm.
moving. Anger is usually a reminder that our boundaries have been crossed
Mm-hmm.
and we're losing power. So it's a reminder for us to examine and see where our boundaries have been crossed and do better next time to get our power back. And for example, guilt, whenever we feel guilt, it's usually a reminder that we have lost our integrity. So it's a reminder to how do we get our integrity back. So all these emotions, they have messages that point to the situation we're in, and they're actually from the present moment. So not only feeling our emotions, we need to examine the possible messages and correct our behaviors and become better and better. If you look at it from this point of view,
Mm-hmm.
these quote unquote negative emotions, they're not something to run away from. They're messengers, and they get our energy flowing again. They actually help us understand ourselves so much better. Now, if you apply, they call this high emotional intelligence. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you hook this part into your trauma in the healing, because in trauma, you we have a lot of traumatic energy trapped in the body.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do, one of the healing methods naturally is to, in a controlled manner, of course,
Mm-hmm.
to breathe deeply, relax your body, and just think about your trauma. When you think about your trauma, very naturally you're going to experience the negative emotions of that trauma. That's the energy trapped in your body. So you feel as much as you can, and then you stop. Then you categorize which emotion it is and the message that comes with it. And you learn from those messages. You make notes of it
Mm-hmm.
so you can improve yourself. You know what you have to do. And when you're ready next time, you repeat the process and you feel more and more and more to release it. The less traumatic energy that we have in our bodies, the less recurring thoughts from the trauma and emotion from the trauma will be in there. And the easier it's for us to actually be aware about toxic patterns, toxic coping mechanisms, toxic defense mechanisms from the trauma, that we can do inner work to practice not following, then we can break the cycle. It's all linked together. Emotions are so important. So if you feel angry or something, you try to do affirmation to override that. You lose all this huge part of it. There's nothing,
Yeah.
and the emotion's still there behind, in your subconscious, still running, and you
Yep.
feel so uneasy and you're anxious all the time. You don't know why,
Yep.
because you've been running away from it, not facing it, but it deserves to be felt and released and learned from.
Damn.
It's all
Damn.
linked together, brother.
It is
Everything.
it is linked together. Because it's like too, Zon,
Yeah,
it's like you're putting a mask over the emotion, and you're not like you said, understanding, why that emotion is coming up. And I think people are just afraid, man. I honestly think because it's some emotions are heavy, but if you keep
yeah,
suppressing
uh-huh.
that, it's just gonna get worse, and you're just gonna experience situations in your reality that further reflect that suppression too. So if you're feeling a way about a person, right, that person is no longer in your life, but somebody you meet is just going to be that same person, just in a different costume, there to kind of poke that wound, or just poke that emotion too. So you can't escape that shit, man. You gotta understand that. It's not a bad thing.
Beautiful. That's exactly it. You cannot escape it. And the universe is It's here. Now it's our comfort zone, but it's here to help us become more conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So if we suppress these, the more we suppress these emotions, the more likely we'll be more anxious and depressed. And when we're in that state, our vibration is lower. For example, shame.
Mm-hmm.
Shame is actually the lowest level of consciousness that travel through our chakras.
Mm-hmm.
The, the message of shame is similar to guilt. It's about loss of integrity. There's one additional thing about shame that makes our vibration really low. It is that whenever we feel shame, there's a subconscious identification thinking we are the shame. That's why it lowers our vibration so much.
And you feel that too.
Yeah, you feel it. You're worthless, you're ashamed.
Yeah.
But guilt's different. Yeah, there's slight difference, but it's a huge result. It actually affects your vibration. So if you don't feel your shame,
Mm-hmm.
you keep trying to do affirmation to raise your vibration. Yeah, maybe you can temporarily raise it a little bit,
Yeah.
but that shame's still in the background operating. In addition, you since your vibration is lower, you'll naturally resonate with others in similar quote unquote level. So you can't run away from them no matter where you go.
And that's
You'll catch up to you, man. I'm
you did
telling you.
catch up because one thing I'm realizing too, bro. Well, not realize, but just you get reminders because it's easy to fall into like a victim mindset. Like we're you're gonna have those victim thoughts like that person or me. But then you got to ask yourself if everyone is a teacher, right? So in this life, you need duality. If you didn't have duality, we wouldn't, expand, learn, or grow, right? So if, for example, if me and your life went completely perfect, Zon, we wouldn't grow. We wouldn't expand. We wouldn't know what we want. So we need those challenges. And it's just those people who I'm gonna just say that fucking person pissed you off. That person did you
Mm-hmm,
freaking dirty. But that
mm-hmm,
person in that moment was, if you take take your ego out of it, or just kind of just observe the situation from a learning standpoint. Even though it's hard, don't get me wrong. You can't, you might not be able to do it in that moment, but once you sit down with yourself and calm yourself down, you say, okay, I know everything happens for a reason. I know that there's no coincidences in this. What was I supposed to learn in this situation? Maybe that person was supposed to teach me boundaries within myself. Maybe I'm too open. Maybe I'm too caring. Maybe I'm too giving, which is fine. But then you have to kind of put up a barrier when it's a cutoff, because you can't keep pouring into someone's cup and they're not pouring into yours. So it's tough, but it's tough.
yeah, for sure. That part is so difficult. Like, for example, I was conditioned to put other people first
Mm-hmm.
instead of myself first since I was a child. So when I became a people pleaser later, when I tried to say no, it's so fucking difficult.
Yeah.
I failed so many times. I practiced for maybe 5 years and I'm finally able to do it. But in the beginning, I must have failed like 1,000 times. It's like a programming. I couldn't get out of it. I just kept trying to please others and saying yes, 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 no matter what they said, even though I know it hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go home feeling like shit, saying,
Yeah.
fuck, you did it again. Okay, okay. I promise I won't do it tomorrow. And then I go and do it again. Fuck, son. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. Fuck. You repeat that 1,000 times, and then one day you're able to say no. And you go, yeah, if I can do it once, I can do it twice, three, four. You just keep building up. Eventually, you break out that condition. It becomes natural
Mm-hmm.
that you can do it. It takes a lot of work to face yourself and face your conditioning or patterns. Now, for the victim mentality, that's a really interesting one, Richard. Because when you have the victim's mentalities, what usually happens, you resonate with two types of people. The first type is other people with similar victim mentalities. You
Mm-hmm.
resonate with them. You gravitate toward each other. Number one. Number two, you actually resonate with bullies.
Mm-hmm.
They come, they know how to pick you up from a crowd. They come and bully you. And then by them bullying you, they increase your victim mentality.
Yeah, they do.
It,
That's so true.
it forms a system between you and them and other victims.
It's like a bonding. You guys are bonding in that moment.
Yeah, yeah, it's a negative karmic relationship.
Damn.
That's what it is. But when you start to practice not to follow that victim mentality, in the beginning, you're going to fail miserably. Trust me, because it's a condition. This is not about healing. This is about just doing inner work,
Yeah.
not to follow that victim mentality. Once you start to get out of it, somehow those bullies and other people's victim mentalities know you don't
Mm.
resonate with them. Then a very interesting situation happens. During that time, two types of people will come to you. First, the bullies and the people with victim mentalities, they somehow know
Mm.
you're changing your vibration, you're getting out of it. They'll come and drag you back.
Yeah. That's so
Come
true.
back, Zach. Come back, Richard.
That's
Come
so
and be
true.
with us. Come on, man. We had a good thing going.
It's like, no, we
That's
did not anymore.
no. And the second type, it's the people that come to help you. Yeah.
Mm.
So you have to be able to recognize. The best way I found is that fuck them all.
Yeah.
Say no to new people. Say no to new people until you're completely out of it. And say no to the old group of people that want you back as victims.
Damn. Damn.
That's the safest way.
And just not giving a fuck. I mean, not giving a fuck is easier said than done. But one thing I've
Oh
noticed
yeah.
too, Zon, is that when when somebody, is in your life that, let's just say they're a messenger, right? And they're not resonating with that victim vibration that you're offering. People don't want that person who's trying to, help them out. They want that person, like you said, that keeps them wallowing, and you guys, all you talk about is woe is me, why is me, this happened, blah blah blah. But guys, news fucking flash, man. There's only so much you can do that, because nothing's gonna change. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sit for a week complaining about my circumstances when I could change the shit. That's just a waste of energy.
That's so beautiful, Richard. That's
Cause
because you're consciously aware.
mm,
Well, some people they are not.
yeah.
They just want to go back and repeat what's comfortable.
Mm,
They're not. They lack that awareness. They're not conscious. This is why a lot of times you see like a beautiful woman or a handsome guy,
mm,
they'll date someone that maybe abuses them or something or hurt
yeah.
them
Mm,
because from their perspective, unconsciously, they grew up in a certain type of childhood environment and they look for that.
yeah.
Even though it doesn't make sense, they look for that. Yeah, it's
You're,
kind of sad, but it
you're
happens.
dating your parents at that point, or just whatever the
Yeah,
condition you was in. You're dating that program. Damn, you're dating that program.
yeah. For me, my mom's a alpha narcissist.
Okay.
I was I was dating women similar to her. I was looking for women to dominate me for the longest time.
Mm,
I didn't know. I didn't know. I was looking for that unconsciously because that's familiar to me. So I can play the submissive. They can tell me what to do.
damn.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of my life.
Damn. Because we were talking about people pleasing, and I was trying to pinpoint, like, for the longest, like, because now I'm better with just saying no. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm just gonna say no. Most times you might tell a white lie, like, yeah, I'll do it, and then knowing damn well you're not gonna do it, then you reach out later saying, you know what, something's came up, blah blah blah. Versus you just Saving that entire script, the entire energy you just wasted coming up with a lie and holding on that energy when you could have just been honest and say, you know what, it's just not the right time for me, or just be like, I personally don't want to. Um, so I was trying to pinpoint like, where the fuck did this people pleasing come from? Did it come from my mom? Because I don't really, she's not really a people pleaser, but she's a soft person, and I'm thinking maybe I got that from her. Prime example is on went out um um this weekend on a group date, and
Mhm.
it came to a point where it's time to pay the bill kind of thing. And
Mhm.
with most cases, if you don't split, like if you split in the bill or you guys are paying separate, those are normally two cases. But it's always going to be a point where you didn't fucking order a lot, and then the other person spent hell of money, and it's just not fair to split it because you're basically paying for the people. So at a people pleasing moment where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let's just split the bill, right? Just want to keep the peace. And then I have to ask myself, like, why do you want to keep the peace? You don't owe anyone anything. Why are you trying to keep the peace? Why are you trying to be a people pleaser? And then I guess it goes back to wanting to be accepted. Um, and then at our core essence, you want to be liked, you want to be cared for. But I saw a tweet on Twitter, and I don't know if the person said that, well, paraphrasing, but it's basically saying that I should be the one that's seeing if I like you versus if you like me. And when I read that, I was like, damn, that's powerful. It's not about do you
Yeah,
like me, it's like do I like you? Like, damn, I'm taking my power back with this statement.
yeah, absolutely. I got a story to I got a story to tell you about people pleasing, Richard.
Ooh.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why I was a people pleaser for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and it took about 5 years of facing myself and doing shadow work.
Mm,
And then, in order for this one aha moment to understand why, it's actually quite simple. My mom's an alpha narcissist.
okay.
My dad's a submissive, and my mom never validated me. My parents never did, and they never told me they love me. They still
Mm-hmm.
haven't, but I know they love me. Uh-huh. So whenever I didn't get validation at home, what do? I go out to get validation from friends.
Damn.
In in order for me to get validation from friends, somehow my subconscious mind came up with a way I please others to trade for their validation.
Damn, Zon.
This fucking control me for like 20, 30 years.
Ah, you
But
just pieced
once
something together for me because I've been keep. Oh, I'm sorry. Go, go, go.
but once I know this, shadow work let you recognize where it came from. And the key moment was this. I kept doing shadow work and facing myself, and I saw an image.
Mm,
One day, the image was very clear. It was me as a kid. I was a little boy. I got a 98 out of 100 on the math test. I was just so happy. Yeah, I'm going to take this home and show my mom. So I took the test paper. I walked home. I showed my mom. My mom just looked at me and said, get 100 next time. It was at that moment a lot of shit happened. I formed a
mm,
limiting belief that I'm not good enough. And from that limiting belief came another one, I'm not worthy. And from I'm not worthy came the insecurity. And from insecurity came seeking validation. I couldn't get validation from my parents. I go and get it from my friends. And I please them to get validation because of all these layers within. But once I knew exactly where when that started, I went back to that moment. I hugged that little boy.
mm,
I tell him that I love you. You're enough. You're worthy. You don't need to please other people. I'm here for you. You have to do it multiple times. to slowly dissolve that limiting belief. This is called inner child work on this part. Yeah, but you still need to practice to get out the people pleasing tendency because you have done it millions of times before. You're gonna do it again. You need to stop.
Thousand
Even
percent.
though you know where even though you know where it came from exactly, you still need to practice to stop. Therefore, yes, even if you don't know where it comes from, you can do inner work without shadow work just to stop the pattern. You can do it.
That
But
makes so
if
much
you
sense.
if you do shadow work without inner work, you know where it came from, but you don't
Yeah.
practice to stop the pattern, you're still going to be controlled by the pattern. So
Mm,
once you do inner work, shadow work, and inner child work, and you feel those traumatic moments, you release energy and you understand the message of the emotions,
mm,
you put everything together, then you can break the toxic pattern and become a new
damn.
person. It's all linked together, Richard.
Damn. I just see like lines just forming across. Cause it
Yeah.
fucking hell, man. It is it is validation. Because now you're making me think about just random stuff that I do. And it's like, okay, why do I care about that person's
Yeah.
opinion or they liking me? It's because subconsciously I want that person's validation because I didn't get that validation from my mom growing up. So it's kind of like, hey, do you see me? Do you validate me? Do you like me? Damn, damn,
Yeah.
damn, damn.
We're seeking the self love. We don't know how to give to ourselves from others subconsciously. We
Mm,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, we're controlled by that for the rest of our lives. If we never do these type of works, by the time we die, we'll be exactly the same in these patterns over and over and over again. Uh-huh. It's very difficult to raise our vibration
Yeah.
when we don't put in the work. Uh-huh.
Damn, that's that. God, you just pieced a lot together for me, bro. In this span of conversation.
Beautiful.
Because I
Like
know a lot of
for
people who are people pleasers, and not even, and I don't use guys who listen. I don't use the word people pleasing in the negative connotation. Oh, I don't. That's my podcast. I don't care. However you viewing it, I'm using it in a way of like you just can't say no because you feel bad, even when you want to
yeah,
say no, right? And then it's
yeah,
the
or
validation.
exactly. Or if you meet some guy or some woman, when you speak to them, then you say, why are they so overly agreeing with you on everything? I mean, where's your opinion? Where's your thoughts? Where are your
Yeah.
feelings, emotions? But they don't realize that that may be some kind of de- defense mechanism or coping mechanism for whatever they experienced in childhood. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Damn. This just pieced a lot together for me, brother. I want
See,
to
like,
ask you. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Like, for example, I was supposed to be a people pleaser,
Hmm.
validation seeker, because my mom is an alpha narcissist, and she discouraged emotion, and she actually tricked me into thinking my sensitivity is quote unquote a disease, bad, for more than 40 years. Under those type of environment and conditioning, my sense of will be very broken. My inner masculinity is broken. Therefore, I will attract more dominant woman to come and rely on her to form a
Mhm.
negative karmic relationship. That becomes my destiny. In addition, when my inner masculinity is broken, other men, they somehow know. They may not be able to verbalize it consciously, but they know and they won't trust me. Therefore, if there's a job position for leadership, manager, supervisor, they will pass me by. They don't trust me, period. They can see it. They feel it deep inside. So this affects my job relationship, my coworkers, and my friends, and my romantic. Everything linked together. It's a fucked up life, but you're dealt with the cards. God gave you these cards. You got to do the work and break out of it and recognize these patterns. Mhm.
God damn, Zon. This is some Jesus. I want to, so, okay. Talk to us, because I know you and Pammy have a new guide out, right? Protect your energy. What was the intention behind it, and like what do you guys want to do with it?
For me, I work kind of in a strange way, brother. I heard at first, I heard a voice tell me to write a guy with Pammy. It wasn't my voice. It came from inside.
Mm,
But I usually don't trust that voice. Not the first time. It came 5 times. I finally said yes to the voice, and I approached her, and she immediately agreed. And I feel the intention was, besides following this voice telling me,
mm,
I felt the intention was to write a simple guide, a practical guide that can show people simple ways they can protect their energy
mm,
and recognize certain situations and have practical methods to cleanse. Because during this lockdown time,
yeah.
a lot of times we're on social media. There's a lot of energies on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and you can easily lose yourself when you're on there for 4 or 5 hours a day,
1,000%.
and then you can have enmeshment. You start to, once your energy get into you, if you don't know how to cleanse it, you start to think like them, and you can't tell if it's your thoughts or their thoughts, if it's your feelings or their feelings. Your energetic boundary has been breached. You don't know where you begin, where they end. You're gonna be like in a limbo. You're not gonna have much power that way.
Mm.
The more you love somebody, the stronger your boundaries have to be, man.
That's so true. Oh man, that is
Otherwise, you're gonna enmesh. You're gonna have an enmeshment, and you're gonna lose your identity.
damn. You definitely have to hold that boundary. That's 1,000% with that one.
Yeah,
Oh.
especially with your mom, your brother, your girlfriend, people you love,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a form of respect. You respect them, and you respect yourself. Sometimes when we're angry, anger is usually about that our boundaries been crossed.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're angry because we cross our own fucking boundaries.
Yeah, we
So we're
do.
angry at ourselves. I should have I should have tried to save that person. It's not my job. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's not my job. I did everything to save him or save her. And then I took away the lessons he or she's supposed to have experienced because it's a consequence for their own choice.
Yeah.
I can help them when they're experiencing the consequences. I'm not going to take the consequences away
Yeah.
because if I do that, I'm delaying their growth. I'm spoiling them. I'm crossing my own boundaries.
Whoa.
Yeah, when you have clarity and discernment and awareness in the moment, you can actually separate a lot of things. It becomes very clear. But the easiest way is usually by your relationship with that person at the moment, because on your relationship, there's responsibility. That's where you draw the line. Your responsibility to that person and their responsibility to you at that situation. But the situation can change too. For example, me and my dad, he's my dad, I'm his son. So
Mm-hmm.
there's certain type of responsibility I have towards him and he has towards me. But if him and I we go to the same class in the classroom, the relationship changes. We're classmates. It's different now. The responsibilities are different. So your
Damn.
boundaries can change when the situation changes. You have to be able to recognize all that. Yeah, to enforce your boundaries well.
Ooh, that bound because even the boundaries too. I think because when you were mentioning that, it just brought me back because I feel like everything just comes back full circle, and like you said, everything is
Uh-huh.
linked, and it just comes down to that validation too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Zon, it's one. So I didn't dive deep into it so I can use the practices. But I was looking at certain things in the on the guide that you and Pammy have. And one of your shielding techniques that you talk about is something called whirling. Can you talk about that for those who aren't sure what that is?
Yeah, whirling is actually a secret technique passed down from the ancients in the West. Yeah, the idea is that you want to do the pranic breathing and
Mm-hmm.
say certain things and spin your aura clockwise 12 times. So whenever there's psychic attacks is like your haters thinking certain hateful thoughts towards you or negative thoughts for you. Whenever we think of something, it's actually a thought form. The thought form itself actually have a lifespan. Usually that's not very strong because our mind's not very focused. Oh, that guy's a fucking asshole. I hate him. That's a thought
Yeah.
form. But enough repetitions, that becomes a psychic attack. So what happens when, let's say if you tweet something and there's 3,000 people hate you for it, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
They're calling you names, they're attacking you on your tweets and all their commenting shit. I'm not gonna follow you, bastard, blah blah. That's a psychic attacks. That's very powerful actually. And when that happens, your warning will kick in because you're spinning your aura.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually bounce it back to the Mother Earth. The best way to do would be to, if you combine whirling with rooting.
Mm-hmm.
Rooting is that you imagine there's this root made of light from your root chakra down to the ground, maybe like 15 feet. So whenever there's psychic attacks, it goes down to Mother Earth. This is more kind method of doing because you want to bounce back to the attackers. Their shields, other psychic shields, will actually bounce back to the attackers and stuff. So if you do these two together, you're pretty well protected. Even the simplest one, you just cross your arms and cross your legs.
Okay.
When you do that, you're actually making your aura smaller. I think that's why that when people are hurt, they naturally curl into a ball. On some level, they know you're trying to make the aura smaller, so it's harder to attack. Yeah.
So it's like a comfort. What not? It's not like a comfort, but it's kind of, what you think? Would you look at as like kind of comforting your inner child too?
Yeah, that is comforting too. Yeah. Yeah, all these things are from the ancients. They have people who can actually see auras, and they realize this thing when you do certain things, the shape of the aura changes. It's harder to attack because they can actually see it. Yeah, those people with the sight, they can actually see it. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of psychic shields, like the body armor type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have negative emotions, they actually become weaker and they can be trapped within your shield. That's called psychic poisoning. So you need to have a hole.
Ooh.
You don't tell people where this hole is. Otherwise, they,
Ooh.
they can attack you from there. Then it just goes in. There's a whole bunch of stuff they do. Yeah,
There's really
it's
layers to
wild.
this. This is wild.
Uh-huh.
Guys, I'm gonna include the Protect Your Energy guide in the description link as well, because this is like, because you we this is stuff we don't know. Like, we don't know
Yeah,
that we
we
need to
don't.
protect our energy. We don't know that we need to place boundaries with ourselves. We don't know that it's things that we need to release as well. So when I saw, because I was before you guys had tweeted it, I know you do Twitter Spaces a lot too,
Uh-huh.
and so I know you guys talked about that with Sierra as well. Shout out to Sierra too if she's listening to this. Um, and I was like, crap, this is something that I need, because I'm guilty of it. I don't protect my energy sometimes. I don't, place the necessary boundaries. But there's certain techniques and tips in the guide that you can do, because most cases, let's just say, for example, you're out and about and something triggers you, or um you pick up on somebody's energy at work, right? Let's just use a work
Uh-huh.
example. You can use these practices in work environments to bring yourself back center. Like, this is some powerful shit.
Yeah, especially a work environment. Like for example, if you have some money,
Mm-hmm.
you can buy your girlfriend or your mom diamond ring. The diamond doesn't have to be very good or top fine. You don't have to spend that much money. As
Mm-hmm.
long as it's a diamond and the diamond ring, and then you have your girlfriend or your mom wear this ring on her right hand middle finger or pinky. By doing that, that's one of the best forms of psychic defense. They don't even have to do anything.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, but for men, it's kind of weird how men wears diamond. For men, what we can do, we can buy a garnet ring, which is a lot cheaper. You can get it on internet for 40, $50. But there's a condition with the garnet ring. It is that when you're feeling depressed or down, you want to take it off. If you don't, it will actually give you bad luck. But when you're feeling okay or good, you wear it, it will bring you good luck. You wearing your middle finger or pinky, the same. It's the reason why they say middle finger or pinky. The ancients are very wise. I think the middle finger or pinky,
Mm-hmm.
they're linked to upper chakras.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Yeah, but if you wear other fingers, chances are you may go into lower chakra because the diamond or garnet will actually absorb life energy into your body. You don't
Whoa.
want to over activate your lower chakras. Your upper chakras is generally okay. So they're very wise. That's why they say middle or
Damn.
pinky on the right hand. And then you realize that a lot of times external energy actually goes in from the left side of your body and comes out from the right side of your body. Yeah. So what you
Oh,
can do is that you can wear black tourmaline. You can wear the bracelet, black tourmaline, on your left hand. Yeah. So you cleans energy coming in from the left side of your body. It really does help. Uh-huh.
this is some powerful stuff, Zon.
Then you can wear selenite on your right hand as it exits. So you
Okay.
make sure energy that come out from you is clean. You don't pollute the environment. You can do these type of things. Uh-huh.
I did not know any of this, so thank you for that, Zon.
You're welcome.
I always ask this last question to my guest. What would your message be to humanity during this time?
Please put yourself first. Please take good care of yourself. Please protect your energy and please protect your mental health. Have routines and just keep repeating the same routines to remain stable during this time. Yeah,
I
that's
love
it.
I love that. Guys, I will leave all of Zon's links below. You're gonna want to get that guide. You're gonna want to get that Twitter guide, and just check out his shadow work guys as well. This super grateful to chat with you and definitely help whoever needs this message. So, Zon, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show, bro.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much, Richard, for this.
Of
I
course,
appreciate
guys.
you.
I appreciate you, man. Guys, as always, you're the creator of your reality. Everything you think, feel, and say will shape. Take accountability for your shit. No more people pleasing. No more seeking validation from others. Seek it within yourself and just stop giving a fuck. That's the message. Stop giving a fuck. Guys, see you next guys, see you next week.